Welcome to Lesson 3. Again, you should have logged in, and we're going to start a new game. This time, we're going to be building a card game. So, we're going to go to Decks, then select a poker deck, because that's the size of cards that we'll be dealing with. Add the deck. You can name it now if you want. If you name it, you should probably name it something like World Builder Deck. We're going to be adding the back of the playing cards. You did something similar in the first lesson. Go to File Set B, the World Builder folder. Scrolling down a ways, you'll find one card with a brown back. That's the one that you're going to want to use for the back of the playing cards. Don't forget to proof the picture. And again, try to be patient with the buttons. GameCrafter can be a bit temperamental on that. Feel free to look at the color print filter, but it won't matter much. The cut lines, as you may recall, show where you'll lose things if it prints properly. The blue line where you'll potentially lose things if it gets off center in the printing. We're going to jump right into a mass upload, so go ahead and click on the folder. File Set B, World Builder. We don't have the cards here sorted any more than that, so import that folder. We're going to end up with a few files that we don't need and a few files that we do need, but we don't need as individual cards. The cards with the silhouettes are the backs of the other cards. You can just choose the generic back for the deck, or you can, by using the pull down menu on back that says back from, add a specific file to use as the back of a card. In this case, the cards that we're going to have as separate backs than the rest of the deck are player markers. There are around 50 cards here. There should be 48 individual cards once things have been edited down. And while each card does need to be proofed, as always, I'm going to go ahead and skip ahead when we get to that part in the video so that you don't have to sit through watching me proof each of them individually. I will expect you to proof them before you submit the URL for the shop page to the blog with your reflection. You may have noticed earlier that there were a few files that were rejected because they were the wrong size. See there the card that we used for the back. We're going to have to remove that. So we're getting rid of the silhouette cards. You could just as easily get rid of the cards that are in color and add those to the silhouettes, but I prefer to do it this way because in my mind the silhouette is the back of the card. So, you can see, using the pull-down menu, we had back from card. Then we're going to select the silhouettes one at a time. Quick reminder, whenever you select a file, there's a download this file link below the picture. useful if you lose something or if you're working away from home. But if you download it from the site, it will have a randomly generated name rather than the name that you've given it. You can see that the cards are named as player markers. That's because the files being used are labeled as player marker cards. And again, when you do a mass upload, the game crafter names the card whatever the file name is. I know I said that I'd jump ahead when we got to the proofing, but there are a couple of things to go over first. You may notice that this picture isn't perfect, but I'm going to use it anyway. Could always go back through later on and change the picture out when a better one is made. These are the special action cards for the game. The rest of the cards are point scoring cards. These modify the way that the turn is run. If you're really interested, you can go through and read them, but it will have no real bearing on the mechanics of putting it together. You may have noticed with the player markers and the other cards, there's green and blue in the background that extends to the very edge of the card. If the card gets a little off center, then the green or blue will still be there. Here, it's just a white background, and all of the text and pictures are carefully placed inside of the blue lines to make sure that they aren't lost in the event of a minor shifting on the printer. So, here we realize that we have gotten a card that we don't need. We delete it. And now we're going to skip ahead a bit.